Hello! Before the video starts, I just want to say that I believe I have fixed the issue with the quality of my voice in my recordings, and I will have the video timestamp for your convenience. So, I hope you enjoy this video. Oh, hello. Don't mind me. I'm just playing my favorite mobile game, Fruit Ninja. Oh wait, that's the wrong game. This is Metal Gear Rising. I'll say this, it's very different from the other Metal Gear games. Instead of being a stealth game, it's more of an action game like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or Transformers Devastation. But you can chop the enemies into a billion pieces however much you want. So anyway, the character that you play as in the main story is Raiden. Raiden first showed up in the second Metal Gear game, Sons of Liberty, where he replaced Snake once the oil rig mission started, and fans were not happy about it, since they wanted to play as Snake. I get it, Snake is pretty awesome, and I love him. It didn't help that Kojima didn't even show Raiden on the box art of the game. However, that was intentional to keep it as a surprise. However, in the fourth game, Raiden comes back as a cyborg since the Patriots captured and forced him to become one. Then we get to Rising as he's the main character. I prefer Cyborg Raiden as he's much cooler than just replacing Snake, and nowadays I think people like Raiden thanks to Metal Gear Rising. I will say this, I'm surprised at how fun this game is. There are some annoying parts like this stupid helicopter boss fight, and how easy it is to fall off this crane while jumping from building to building, and fighting the Mastiffs. These big cyborgs that can grab you, and they're pretty tough and take too long. But still a great game, a fantastic game. I'll explain how the game works. So Raiden has two bars. The top one is his health, and the blue one is his Zandatsu meter. Basically, when the opponent turns blue after some damage, you can then slice them up and grab their electrolytes, and fully regain both health and Zandatsu meters. There's another mode with the Zandatsu meter, but I'll explain that later, since you get that after a boss fight. Also, whenever the enemy has this red glare, that means they're about to attack, and that signals you to parry. And once you parry, you're able to counterattack and deal some great damage. Also, throughout the game, Raiden can find these chests that give him different weapons like a rocket launcher, EMP grenade, or even health and Zandatsu refills. I didn't really use much of the items except the rocket launcher for that stupid helicopter fight. There are some special chests that are blue, and if Raiden cuts them, they usually give him bonus health packs. After each mission, you can upgrade Raiden to give him more health, moves, weapons that the bosses used, or even customizations. I really love the Desperado paint job, but I can't argue with the mariachi outfit. Also, if you pre-ordered the game, you also got this Gray Fox skin, and unfortunately I can't get it because I was too young to play this game and I didn't have a PS3, nor did I ever even heard of Metal Gear back in like 2013. Also, throughout the game, you can find these VR missions. They're basically side quests, and they're more important in the DLC because they give more health for Sam and Blade Wolf. I think that's right, I'm not too sure. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, I didn't do all the VR missions in the main story. So before I get into the plot, let's go over who helps Raiden out. First is Maverick. He's the one who founded Maverick Security Consulting and hired Raiden. Next is Kevin and Courtney. They provide Raiden data on the mission and also how to deal with some things. And last is Doctor. He provides upgrades for Raiden, and you also hear him geek out a little bit too.
But first you need to take a dump.
Wait, what?
A dump? A digital optical output mounted proxy.
You can also codec call them too, but I rarely ever do. I watch the boss fights a million times on YouTube, I really don't need help with them that much. So that's Raiden's main group of supporters. Now let's dive right into the plot. So, it starts off as an escort mission with Raiden protecting the Prime Minister of Africa known as Enmani, while Desperado invades. Then Raiden gets his ass beat by Jetstream Sam and Sundowner kills Enmani. Then 3 weeks later, Raiden gets a new body, and thank God, the cats cannot be heard in this game. Thank you Kojima and Platinum Games. Raiden then befriends a robot dog named LQ-84 who will later become Blade Wolf. And after that, he battles Mistral, who became a killer after killing her family's killers. While in Mexico, Ryan finds out that Desperado and World Marshal have been kidnapping kids and taking their brains out to put them in VR training to turn them into soldiers, while also saving a kid named George who escaped that fate. Then Ryan goes to confront World Marshal and take the brains back, and my favorite part of the plot happens, where Jetstream Sam gets inside Ryan's head. Basically, Ryan is okay with cutting his enemies down because he thinks that they made their own choice to do so, where Jetstream Sam reveals that most of them did not have a fair choice.
Many times they already lost a limb or two. Many times they were out of work and starving on the street. So yes, they sign up for surgery to fight God knows where. How else would you provide for your family when your country's embroiled in civil war?
This scene right here is why I love Jetstream Sam so much, because he proves that he can get inside Ryan's head. And clearly so, because Ryan is questioning his own morals, and he can't even fight that well. Then Ryan meets with Monsoon, and they talk about memes.
Memes, the DNA of the soul.
And after that, Ryan decides to unleash Jack the Ripper. And then he and Monsoon fight, and with the help of his new mode, he defeats Monsoon. After defeating Monsoon, Ryan gets a new mode called Ripper Mode. Once his Zandatsu meter is full and is red, he can go into that mode and he'll deal more damage. Ryan then fights an empty shell of Mistral and Monsoon, and that was an annoying spot. Ryan then gets to the brain room at the top of the World Marshal building, where he and Sundowner go outside to fight. Then Sundowner becomes invincible with his shields.
Fucking invincible!
And then Ryan avenges Enmani. Then we learn of Operation Tecumseh that's happening on the other side of the world, and coordinates suggests a ship that can go Mach 23. Then Doctor and Ryan take the brains on a helicopter while two drones attack, and Ryan beats them in a badass way, but he falls to the ground. He then finds a motorcycle to head to Solus, and then confronts Jetstream Sam. This is my favorite boss fight due to the music and Sam being a worthy challenger. Sam then dies, and Ryan takes his sword to honor him. Ryan gets to Solus and reunites with his friend Sonny that he rescued from the Patriots and MGS4, and he and Blade Wolf head to Pakistan. There they find Senator Armstrong with a Metal Gear, and Operation Tecumseh was to have American blood soiled while the President of America visits to cause an uproar for war. Then he and Ryan fight, and damn, he's tougher than the Metal Gear was. I'll say this, Armstrong's got a great speech, and I would have voted for him.
I have a dream. One day, every person in this nation will control their own destiny, where the law changes to suit the individual, not the other way around. Where power and justice are back where they belong, in the hands of the people. Fuck all of it!
After getting kicked like a soccer ball, getting his sword broken, and getting a hug from Armstrong to then call him batshit insane, and then talk about omelets, it's just perfect Metal Gear. No wonder Armstrong's so meme-worthy. After Ryan gets beat, Blade Wolf appears and throws Ryan Sam's sword, and he and Armstrong have a final duel, and it's pure dopamine. Unless you play on hard mode, then it becomes like Dark Souls. Ryan then rips Armstrong's heart out, and here Armstrong realizes that he and Ryan are almost the same.
Deep inside, we're kindred spirits. You and I.
Then everyone has a happy ending, where Ryan is doing his own thing, Maverick's company is helping the Brainjack kids, and Blade Wolf lives with Sonny and George. But that's not all of the story. We also have two DLC stories that I'm going to talk about, and they both revolve around Jetstream Sam and Blade Wolf. So let's start with Sam's DLC story. So in Sam's DLC story, we see him on a job interview for a spot on Desperado, where he's actually trying to take them down. So Sam's almost a vigilante like Batman, except he chops his opponents up. Then in his DLC, Sam has to fight Blade Wolf, a Metal Gear Ray, and then Senator Armstrong. During the fight, Sam manages to cut off Armstrong's arm off, but he's still tough enough to not let it phase him, and then stabs Sam with his cut arm. Still being impressed with him, Armstrong gives him the job, where it's Sam's only choice now, and one he doesn't want to do. And that's how Sam got into Desperado. I will not lie, I did feel bad for Sam and his DLC story at the end of it. Sam was still pretty badass though. Now, let's get on to Blade Wolf. He's doing some VR missions while Mistral is controlling him. He's also pondering about freedom. He keeps questioning why everyone else can make their own choices and have free will besides him. Also, keep in mind that Blade Wolf is an AI too. Then he's assigned with this asshole named Comson on the mission that happens before Ryan shows up in his new body.
Buckle the fuck up, little doggy. Remember this. We're bringing freedom here if it kills us.
After they have some downtime, Mistral decides to be nice and deactivate Blade Wolf's range inhibitor, where he then makes a run for it, and when he's almost free, he has to fight Comson. After beating him, Blade Wolf attempts to leave, but then Mistral shows up and reactivates his range inhibitor, basically lying to him this whole time just for him to kill Comson, and then proceeds to laugh at him. God damn, I got so mad when she did that to him. Blade Wolf did not deserve that. Then we cut to him and Sonny after the game ends, where they both talk about how Ryan saved them. And they also form more of a bond with each other since Ryan both saved them. And I really like that. All in all, I really like these DLC stories. We got to learn a little bit more about Sam and Blade Wolf. Hell, even play as them. I gotta admit, Blade Wolf's playstyle is really boring. He doesn't have that much moves as Ryan and Sam, and the game makes you do stealth kills in order to get a good score at the end of a mission. But I do like Blade Wolf's plot more than Sam's though. Sam's was more fun to play as, especially how badass he was fighting Armstrong, and he even has a taunt that pisses off the enemies. Also in the DLC, we find out that the bike that Ryan took in Denver was actually Sam's. That's pretty funny. Alright, since I covered the plot and the DLC, now let's get on to the best part of this game, and that's the bosses. And they are awesome! Except for the helicopter boss fight. That one was not fun. Oh my god, these bosses are awesome. The first boss is the Metal Gear Ray, and it is really badass. You basically attack its legs for the first phase, and if you parry right, then you can cut off its armor into a million pieces. Then in phase 2, you attack its head while avoiding missiles, and it's slamming its head at you. Then Ryan literally jumps from missile to missile, gets slammed into a clock, then runs down it and slices the Metal Gear in half. This one is awesome, and Rules of Nature really helps it. Then we get to the first Jetstream Sam boss, and it's unwinnable. And that's also when Sam cuts Ryan's arm and eye out. Then we get to Blade Wolf's boss, where he keeps dashing at you and saws your shoulder if you don't parry right. He also throws hot knives and summons soldiers and a gecko when he needs a break. Then there's Mistral's boss fight. I will admit, it's a little bit annoying because these stupid drones keep grabbing me. But Mistral is still a fun boss, as her staff can turn into a whip, and also this cool transition when you need to cut her staff in half, and her spinning around. Her gimmick is she has a lot of arms, and she also gets more from the drones after you damage her enough, and she also throws the drones at you. Then the next boss fight is Monsoon. He's literally like Buggy from One Piece, where he can separate himself, and you got to parry a lot in this boss. Also, he summons vehicles that you slice, and I didn't know they could parry the ones that roll on the ground. Also, he goes into a phase where you can't hurt him, and his body parts just keep swarming around. He can also throw his body parts right at you. He is a really unique boss with his magnetism. Then we get to Sundowner. You gotta cut his shield in the right direction to get rid of it, and if you attack his shield, it'll explode. When you get rid of all of them, his mask comes down, and he becomes a little bit more aggressive. Then at the end, he knocks you off the building, but Ryan finds a drone and flies right back up the tower, and then he cuts him up. That was for Edmoni, you bastard! Then we get to Sam's, and oh boy, it's really good. He can dodge a lot, and has these cool charge attacks. After you damage him a bit, you then make him drop his sword, but he can grab you from some attacks. Then you pick his sword back up. What's also cool is when he drops his sword, the lyrics to a song disappear until he picks his sword back up.
Show me a good time, Jack!
Also, he keeps taunting you throughout the fight. It's a really memorable boss fight, especially since Sam is your rival and has made a big impact on this game. Then we get to Metal Gear Excelsius. This one was a little bit annoying by taking a bit too long to defeat, and the two big swords were just annoying. But it made up for it when Ryan got to chop it up with his own sword. and him running across his legs. That was pretty cool. Then we get to the final boss, and it is Senator Armstrong. And he takes those hits like a Chad. Then the final phase hits, then the game becomes like Dark Souls. He has a projectile, causes most of the area to explode, he freaking charges at you, throws Metal Gear pieces at you, and he can also heal himself. Although you just gotta slice his back and then you'll stop him. The only other boss I haven't gone over is Compson. He's in this giant mech thing that swings a hammer around. Basically as Blade Wolf, you just counter his attacks, and then when he crashes into the ground, that's when you sneak up behind him and Blade Wolf can do a surprise attack on him. It felt really good to chop him up, and he was actually pretty fun to fight. I will admit, my favorite boss had to be Sam. I was still having fun, even though he kept beating me, and I was still able to do this cool combo against him as well. There's one more thing about this game I want to talk about, and it's the music. And the music in here is such a banger. And of course, it's in my Spotify playlist. The music in this game is so good. Each boss has their own theme, and each is pretty good. Also, the lyrics give us a little bit more detail about said character. It's like Guilty Gear music in a way, and these types of games always hits hard with the music. Take Buried the Light for instance. Also, what I'm going to say is what I think each song means, so you guys can take what you want from my opinion, but you can also form your own opinion about said song. Alright, the first one is Rules of Nature. This plays during the Metal Gear Ray fight, and it makes you feel like you can take on anything in the whole world. So this song is pure testosterone. Maybe if I remember this song, I could use it to help me overcome my fear of talking to women. Next is I'm My Own Master Now, and that's Blade Wolf's song. It describes how he wants to be free and how badly he wants it. I love how this song helps us understand how Blade Wolf is feeling. The next is A Stranger I Remain, and that's Mistral's song. From what I can take of it, she basically becomes more distant of herself and becomes more of a killer and starts to enjoy it. So that was clearly my favorite. The next one is Stains of Time, and that's Monsoons. I think he loses his anger and sorrow while not having much emotion until it all comes rushing back when he fights. Someone get this man some therapy. Next is Red Sun, and that's Sundowner's theme. He loves killing and committing war crimes, and that's basically it. I have a feeling that Anakin Skywalker and Sundowner would be great friends, because they love committing war crimes. Now, time for my favorite, the only thing I know for real, and it's Jetstream Sam's. I think it's about how Sam joins with Desperado and all the terrible things he had to do that he doesn't recognize and hates himself. That's also why I love his boss fight so much. people say that nothing is perfect, but clearly they haven't listened to this song. So I'm just going to briefly talk about the next two songs. Collective Consciousness is about people with power controlling their citizens' lives for them to give up their freedom to benefit the people in power into a collective consciousness. Then there's Heat of the Desert, where it's about soldiers being used as tools and blindly following orders to justify spreading freedom. The last one I want to cover is It Has to Be This Way, and it's Senator Armstrong's theme. So the song is really about how Armstrong sees him and Ryan as the same person with the same goals. Except Armstrong carved his path by making the law turn a blind eye, and Ryan went through with his with wrath. I especially think this because before Armstrong dies, he compares himself to Raiden. Goddamn, I love how deep this game can be. Jamie Christopherson has done a great job with these songs, and the other artists who helped to make these songs. You really can't go bad with any of them, they are all really good. And there's also the end credit song, and that one is amazing too. So that's Metal Gear Rising, and this is one of my favorite games of all time. The plot is amazing, the music is awesome, and it is so fun to play. Except the helicopter boss fight, that one is just a bump in the road, but it is an amazing game. So if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. I will admit, it is on the older consoles. I mean, this is a PS3 game, but it's also on the 360 and also on PC too. And what's also cool is I saw that there were these cool mods where one was like Monsoon is like Mountain Dew or something. And there's also a mod for like the Sundowner boss fight to actually make him more tougher. And that's another complaint. I wish that Sundowner was a bit tougher to beat. Like, he's just a little bit too simple, but hey, still a great game. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this stupid chopper hat, it's because I hate those glasses that I used to wear with this outfit. So like, I got those sunglasses and then the whole Dr. Disrespect thing happened. I'm like, okay, I do not want to be compared to this guy, so I got rid of the glasses, and lo and behold, the chopper hat. So, with Metal Gear Rising out of the way, let me tell you what I've been up to, guys. So, recently, I got the new Zelda game, the Echoes of Wisdom, the one you actually play as Zelda in the game that looks like a Link's Awakening, so I'm excited to try it. I haven't played it yet, because I was busy editing this video and whatnot. Halloween is almost here, and I got something else planned for that. Oh yeah, let me explain the mic situation. So I'm not doing it right now because of the chopper hat, but so basically with my mic, I found that there's a head jack port, and to make the audio sound better, I would actually plug my headphones into the microphone, and I can actually hear my voice coming from the mic, and I'm like, oh man, this is such a game changer. I can actually hear if I'm sounding good or bad now. And for the majority of this video, I think I actually sounded pretty good. Maybe not now in this conclusion, but oh yeah, let me tell you about how far I am in One Piece. I'm on the part where they're raiding Onigashima, and I'm pretty excited for it. Although I will admit, I was annoyed because I got spoiled about something. It involves Conjuro, if you guys are caught up. You know what's up with him, but I saw a YouTube thumbnail and I got really annoyed because it spoiled something really big. I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't even get that far. So I'm getting back into Fortnite only because they put Elastigirl in it and they kept her physique, if you know what I mean. God damn! Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that there are some other good Devil May Cry-like games like Nier Automata and Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush did really good, and I literally bought an Xbox just to play it. I didn't want to play it on PC. I had a great time with it. I really loved it. And Xbox said they loved it. So hopefully we'll get a sequel to it, right? What the hell? Why would Microsoft do that when that game studio made some of the greatest games, like The Evil Within and, you know, Hi-Fi Rush? Oh, the new Game World and the PS5 Pro. Like, why? Why? That gaming world nowadays. At least one of the saving graces this year is Astrobot and Helldivers becoming fun again. Well, that's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you guys for watching this. I spent a long time on this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed this video too. I really do love Metal Gear. It's one of my favorite franchises, and you cannot go wrong with Rising. It's a great experience. I do have some stuff planned I really want to work on, and it'll just take time. And hopefully soon I'll be able to do a Xenoblade video. I still got to do that one. So, you guys have a nice day. Do some hacking and slashing. Have some good time playing some video games. And just have a great day. So, I'll catch you later, gamers. See ya!